Hey, Corrupt Cop. No, this is shit. Hey guys, Zereph here, and today I wanted to make a video discussing a very, I don't know if I can say it's a controversial topic. Most people didn't give a shit, and I know I did until it really came up as like prevalent. Disclaimer, I'm not a fan of any of these two particular YouTubers, but I watched the entire fight with a couple of my friends. We got invested. I bet on Logan, obviously by the title. I don't really know where it's gonna be. I'm talking about the Logan Paul KSI fight. So most of what I'm seeing from the clips, I'm sure they'll be showing on screen. KSI he has his guard up more, like he's more so showing, defensive status, but he's also going super offensive, which obviously isn't bad in a boxing match. But the way he fights has no coordination. Most of his strikes, I don't know if you guys can see my arm, most of his strikes are like this, like more of a, he's using his entire arm weight. As I'm going to discuss later, I have experience with MMA and martial arts and whatnot, so I know for a fact that most of the time it is not advised to put your entire front body weight out when you punch. So I found that like very unprofessional and kind of annoying to watch, because it's like you have this guy, he obviously knows to keep your guard up, whatnot, but it feels more like a street fight when I'm watching him do these things, Then we have Logan Paul. I think this is like round 3. Logan Paul's main issue here that I'm seeing is that he refuses to keep his guard up. Let me stand up and show y'all. He would usually keep his hands to his side like this. I think you guys can see it. And like a stance like this. Then he'd put him up like that. He just, keeps switching, going up. And like that was a really big downside. It's one of those things I was looking at. I was like, you train for this allegedly, and I don't know what you're doing. Keep your hands up. You see this dude coming at you with half of his body weight. Here we have the Logan Paul knockout, which actually is what cost him to lose the game. He knocked out KSI, but hit him in the back of his head. So they took off 2 points, and that was why he lost the match. But all in all, watching this match, both of them were kind of sloppy, but I found that Logan Paul kept up more of the actual boxing spirit, if that makes sense. Logan wasn't as offensive as he could have been. He wasn't as defensive as he could have been. But in terms of actually, avoiding punches, as you can see on screen, he had the moves in terms of that, which is where his training showed. But he just was not putting out offensively. His defense was okay because he mainly relied on moving his body. I think he was kind of like trying to showboat. I mean, it worked out because he didn't get hit as much. And that 2-point deduction is mainly why he lost. So, like I said prior, I have my own experience with, fighting and whatnot. Let me pause this here. Sorry about that. I have my own experience with fighting. I took Okinawan karate when I was, I believe, 16 years old. Did that for a while. I'm not going to pretend I'm the most experienced. In fact, I stopped doing it after about, like half of a year, almost a year. I say like 8 months. I took 8 months of Okinawan karate. And one of the things that we've been told is, discipline, composure, respect of the craft. And I think that's part of why this really angered me, is because watching KSI fight is like watching a street fight. Like I said, he's using most of his body weight, and in Okinawan karate, we're told to preserve that, to mainly rely on the force in of itself. In fact, to better demonstrate, it's gonna be a lot of demonstrations. In Okinawan karate, you have your hands about here to your belt, and you thrust out. You thrust your punches out, and that's pretty much what you're told to do in most fighting. And I just find it kind of weird that this guy steps in a boxing ring after allegedly training for so long, referring to KSI, and is literally throwing his body weight out. And I find that extremely unfair and just unprofessional in general. Like, this guy obviously doesn't deserve to be back in the arena. Logan loses by the 2 points due to the 1 point due to the 2-point deduction. If he didn't, he would have won by 1 point, which I find ironic and kind of funny. One thing I don't personally understand is why when KSI hits him in the back of his head while he's going down, it doesn't count as a deduction. But when Logan does it, it counts as a deduction. Meaning that if they deduced from both of them, if my math is proper here, they both should have, no. Would it have been a tie? No, I think Logan still would have won in that case. Or maybe KSI. KSI would have won, I believe. I don't know, who cares? Based upon my experience, this is like a completely unprofessional fight on his end. He's not showing any composure. He's not showing any of his training. It just seems like he was going for full out brute force, despite it, if it looked right, if it made sense, if it landed. Most of his hits didn't land. Logan landed more punches. He threw less, but he landed more, so his percentile was higher. And I think that's one thing that most people won't look at. people are going to see these clips or just see that KSI won and assume it was a blowout. They're going to see the knockdown and assume it was a blowout when it was not. Going back to the point of those knockouts, Logan continuously was pressed onto the ropes by KSI because of his lack of, offense. So most of those knockouts consisted of Logan being on the ropes and his legs slipping out, him getting hit, falling down. I'm not very familiar with the sport of boxing, but I've watched a couple matches prior to this one. And like I said, if they consider that a knockout, it is what it is. But let's be real here. If you're being assisted by the fact that this man has no leg support, can you really consider that a knockout, KSI? Especially after the performance you put on. In fact, KSI, if you're watching this for whatever reason, I know you don't want to fight Logan anymore, but I'm all here. I'm here for you, bro. I got you. But the point being, that knockout to me just was like a pile of shit. And that isn't because I have some type of bias or hate boner for KSI. It literally is like, of course you're going to fall down if you have no footing. Now, like I said, I don't know the rules of boxing. Maybe that counts as a knockout. If you lose your footing, your leg goes out, that's your fault for not knowing, the room, the area, the fighting area that you're in. That's your own fault for not keeping your senses up to date. Maybe that's how it works. But to me, I don't find it to be like a bragging right. The fucking gravity is what saved you here, my friend. And I want to also discuss how this isn't all KSI's fault that Logan lost. Logan, as I said earlier, dude refused to keep his hands up. Like, he just didn't want to do it. And I watched both of their training videos that they released. Logan did a series on Snapchat and a little bit on YouTube. KSI kind of was private about it, but he released a knockout video. And from what I saw, Logan was putting in so much more work than KSI. And like I said, KSI didn't release everything, which might have been the smarter move. Maybe being theatrical about it was Logan Paul's downfall. Maybe KSI knew him being a fucking brute would be enough to take down this composed boxer wannabe, And I just feel like in the end, Logan Paul definitely had the advantage in terms of actual training, physical strength, even speed and dexterity and stamina, as we saw when, he knocked out KSI once, and that was enough to keep this man to start playing only defense for a while. The 2-point deduction is what KSI won the match from. The judges won the match for KSI. KSI didn't win the match for himself. So that's just my 2 cents on the fight. Let me know what you think down below. I hope I added enough insight to kind of make my opinion a bit valid. Like I said, I took, my own martial arts. Okinawan karate is considered the original MMA. Most people use it to counteract MMA, boxing, whatnot. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you liked it. If you disliked it, tell me why you disliked it down below. Don't hit the dislike button. Just tell me what you didn't like. We'll discuss it. We'll figure it out. This is Zereph. This is Zereph shutting off. Peace. Thanks for watching.